it's Top 10 Scary Urban Legends here. I'm your host Makayla, and today we're talking about the top 10 scariest buildings in Russia. And I also just want to start out this video by saying if I mispronounce anything, please don't hate me, I am trying my best. Kicking off this countdown at number 10, abandoned chambers in Chuckaloma. This abandoned chamber is located basically in the middle of nowhere, about 8 kilometers from the closest inhabited village called Chuckaloma. Formerly a charming mansion filled with life, it was built in a big village called Ostashevo, which died out in the 20th century due to the rapid urbanization process the Soviet Union faced. The landlord of the mansion was a rich businessman from St. Petersburg who constructed it as a present for his second wife, who was an Ostashevo local. The chamber is built in pseudo-Russian style, an unusual mix of Slavic and Byzantine architecture. Nowadays, the mansion looks more like a horror house from Russian-style thrillers and is almost completely forgotten, except for the group of enthusiastic bloggers gathering money to revive it. The mansion is within walking distance from the village, but it would be wise to ask a local to give you directions. Now at number 9, Katachan Village. Officially known as a depopulated community, this Russian village actually looks like a ghost town rather than anything else. Originally, this place was established as a coal mining village, but the corporation shut doors due to numerous incidences there. As a result, the locals soon left the village and settled in other communities, without even packing all of their possessions. By the end of 2010, the village in Matagan Oblast was almost completely deserted. It virtually had no official residents. This place is rarely visited by travelers since there's not much to see around it anyway. Now, as this village is not just one building itself, there's multiple buildings in the village, but they are all very spooky looking, and the abandoned park in the middle of the village is even creepier than the rest. The coal mining in the area just became unprofitable. One mine was simply shut down in 1992, while the other had exploded in 1996 and ended up unfortunately taking the lives of 6 people. Back in the late 80s, more than 10,000 people lived in this village, and they had everything. I mean shops, restaurants, movie theaters, a house of culture, and so much more. However, in 2012, 2 people were spotted in the area, and it was reported it seemed like they had been living in this insanely creepy deserted village. Here at number 8, Brazinson Mansion. This mansion is also located in St. Petersburg. Unnoticeable from the street, this charming abandoned mansion is located in the industrial district of Vasilivsky Island in St. Petersburg. It was built by Petersburger Nikolai Brazinson, the rich owner of the local tannery. The mysterious story of the building claims that here the famous Dracula mirror is being kept in a secret hiding place between the walls. According to local legend, the mirror was brought here in the 20th century from the Venetian Palazzo, where the dust of Dracula was kept. Soon after the mirror appeared in the mansion, the granddaughter of the landlord suddenly passed away. After the revolution, the mirror was taken to the local Kirov Palace of Culture and then returned to the mansion. After 2 more passings of residents of the mansion, the decision was made to hide the mirror in a secret place inside the building. Coming in at number 7, Sanatorium Energy. The old sanatorium was a long abandoned place that wasn't used for decades until one day when the town decided to transform the building into something else. The former sanatorium would probably be torn down completely, but at least the grounds would be used for the construction of something better. What's interesting about this place is that it's located just outside of Moscow, nearby a few ponds that are major hotspots for fishers. So hopefully the new buildings will be able to cater to those specific visitors who may spend a night or 2 here while fishing nearby the lakes or ponds. Now at number 6, Northern Crown. This one is a place that gathers a lot of mystery and has had a lot of weird incidences. The hotel was an extraordinary and very luxurious place until 1988 when the Soviet Union compromised the property in order to overlook the Krabovki River. Unfortunately, due to the lack of money, the construction was postponed. And since then, the inner side is luxurious, but the outer side of the hotel is abandoned. The story says that the reason was the passing of a nun of St. Pete, who suddenly passed in an honor reception. While this place looks luxurious and beautiful, now that it's somewhat abandoned, it looks pretty scary. Halfway at number 5, the grain elevator. This grain elevator was built right on the fringe of the Ural city of Chelyabinsk. Once the construction of the railway was completed, Chelyabinsk automatically became a pretty significant trade station between eastern and western Russia. The result was a gigantic 8-story building that served as a symbol of the town. It practically resembled a giant skyscraper rising high from the ground. In only several years, the other districts of the city developed so much the grain elevator simply fell into abandonment. Now, I know the building doesn't have any ghost stories behind it, but it definitely looks like it could be tied to something like a haunted asylum.
All this was the structure of the elevators where the grain been stored. And this is like the main building, the main office building was here.
Here at number 4, Dag Diesel Plant. This odd building is known as the Dag Diesel Plant in Dagestan. Initially, Dag Diesel Plant was used as a test center for the military department in Russia. According to the original plan, it had to be put in operation by 1939. However, the idea was actually short-lived since the military needs sort of changed over the years. Well, this Russian test center still resides in the Caspian Sea, but it's hardly ever used for anything anyway. On top of that, Dag Diesel Plant is located almost over 2 miles from the shore, so getting there isn't really easy whatsoever. Today, its only visitors are the birds that have made the land theirs. This weird looking thing in the middle of the water just screams horrifying just from a picture. Coming in at number 3, the unseen side of Leningrad. Saying that the scenery of this place isn't at all spooky would be the biggest lie ever. This insane site was built near the village of Saperny and is considered the largest decoration for a military movie. In fact, the entire town was built on an abandoned military base. The movie project engaged over hundreds of builders to set up the scene, and the whole process took between 4 to 6 months, and over $5 million to complete. It's not hard to see that the decoration is filled to the brim with bizarre details, including these children-looking statues that seem to be playing Ring Around the Rosie, which for starters has always been a creepy song and an odd game to play. I mean, the lyrics in the song are ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Now at number 2, Atomic Lighthouse. The Atomic Lighthouse, constructed by the Russian architect Murray Shinobu, was built on the Chuckaloma island in the mid-90s. It was in fact a very complicated building, a technical one that had to be a unique creation. Kapanava's lighthouse used a diesel generator to get going, although it also had some backup batteries. In the late 90s, the Atomic Lighthouse was retrofitted with more power as a way to save more money. However, somehow it eventually became abandoned anyway. So the building now sits lonesome by the sea, hopelessly waiting for a new potential reconstruction. But with the clouds and all the decay the building has already experienced, I'm not sure anyone would want to even go near that thing, let alone build something else in its place.
So this is floor number 3. This looks like it was probably the living quarters. People lived here, like season round. There had to be someone here at all times manning the lighthouse itself. It looks like the walls have been painted blue. The reason why I think this is also living quarters is it's the only level that we've seen with the space heater on it. Got a shelf and then a closet right there.
Taking our number 1 spot, Maternity Hospital. This building was constructed at the end of the 18th century on the territory of the hospital for participants in the Patriotic War of 1812 against the French army of Napoleon, and initially was a general district hospital. It became a maternity hospital in the second half of the 20th century and was closed for reconstruction in 2009. The plan of this 2-story building resembles the Russian letter with a basement and attic. The ceilings are more than 5 meters high, and in spite of the fact that the building is totally abandoned, it still has central heating and is rather clean. Bloggers and people passionate about abandoned sites visit it on a fairly regular basis. The hospital is situated in the region of Vladimir, 186 kilometers to the east of Moscow. As maternity hospitals are usually good places to welcome new children into the world, this place is terrifying and no place for children now. And that was the top 10 scariest buildings in Russia. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you know every time we upload a new video, and I will see you next time.